Hello everybody, this is Jason Fisher from TimeandFreedom.com, here to do a review on doTERRA. And I really want to share with you my thoughts on this. I've made millions of dollars in the home-based business industry. I had over 5,000 distributors and customers that dwindled down to 56 people. I lost everything. I started when I was 17 years old, bought my first $1 million home by age 22, and literally had nothing at the end in the sense of long-term residual income, which was long-term customers. Now I'm here to say that doTERRA is a great company with great products. It's just really important that when we are picking a company, if we want to have long-term residual income, that we pick the right company that will be around long-term. Not only the company being around long-term, but the customers being around long-term. And I have heard from many leaders and from my own research myself, the doTERRA products are great, but they are a little bit pricey. When you look at other competing products within its field, the products can be overpriced. The oils are great oils. The personal care products are great personal care products, but we've got to ask ourselves, are customers going to buy long-term at that price point? It's not just about the quality, it's about the price point. Now I want you to understand that at the end of my stint in my company, after 12 years of building that business, I said to myself, why do I have 56 people out of 5,000 people that I originally had? And there was a universal principle that came to mind, and that was called the 80-20 rule. 80% of the people don't do much, while 20% of the people do something. Or 80% of the money is earned by 20% of the folks. We also, in this industry, we think it's almost the 95-5, but let's just keep it for universal principles, the 80-20. Now you can take any industry, take 10 doctors or 10 lawyers or 10 chiropractors or even 10 cab drivers, and you're going to find 2 that shine and 8 that don't do too much. And you're going to find the same thing in the home-based business industry. Even in doTERRA, 8 are not going to do much while 2 do something. And here is what I have learned finally, is that this type of business, for it to work, it's based on numbers. Numbers equal orders, and orders equal residual income. And whoever has the most orders ordering the end is going to have the most residual income. That is where it starts to unfold. Because when you look at the landscape of many of these multi-level marketing companies, they all have great products, but they are all 20%er deals. From the price point of the products, they're 20%er deals. From the only people that can really justify those products in the marketplace and the price point are the 20%ers. The only people that can make money in that type of business are the 20%ers. The 80%ers are not kept in mind in most of these home-based businesses, and that's why most all of these home-based businesses only have 5 to 11% of their sales domestically right here in the United States, because the only people they have ordering in the end are the 5%ers or the 20%ers. Now, when you look at the landscape, I found that most people can't justify that. I said, if I'm going to throw my time, my energy, my reputation into a business one more time, I better find something for the 80%ers. I better find a home for them. I better find something that my brother can do, my sister can do, my next door neighbor can do, the person that doesn't have a lot of sales experience or drive or tenacity. I need to find somebody that's a business model that they're not good at handling rejection in the sense of price point. If I could find a business that the 80%ers could win at, then I could have a huge home run. And when I looked at the landscape, all I saw were 20%er deals. From the price point of the products to all the new buying habits that people had to justify in order for people to spend, in order to qualify every single month. And then all of a sudden the clouds parted, and not only the problems but the solution became very, very clear. And that is that all these companies and all of these businesses, and doTERRA included, they all have great products, but they start changing people's buying habits to the tune of $50 or $100 or $150 or $200 a month to stay qualified in order to be commissionable. And 90 to 120 days into the program or into that business, when they find it hard to justify those products at that price point, asking people to buy new buying habits that they never bought before at price points that they would never pay long term, not only do they quit the business, but here's the most unfortunate piece, is they stop being a customer long term. I said to myself, after losing everything, if I'm going to win in this type of business, I better go find something that the average person can do, something that they didn't have to justify a new buying habit or a new need in someone's budget. And if I could find that, I could have a huge, huge hit. And here was what I said. I said, if I could find a business that the 80%ers could do, that they didn't have to justify a new buying habit, and that they could really make money in, then I was going to have a huge home run. But if I could find a business that not only did they not have to justify a new buying habit or expensive products, but if I could find a business that whether they made money in it or not, they still stayed as a long-term customer, then I knew I was going to have a huge home run. Now, I am the same jockey on a completely different horse after understanding this universal principle and how, if it's applied correctly, there's massive success, and if it's not applied correctly, there's massive failure when it comes to the principle of the 80-20 rule. I knew I needed to find a business that the 80 stayed active in. And here's what I have learned, and it's three main things that I now have in the business that is not only supplying myself, but many other hundreds and thousands of other industry leaders. We knew we needed consumable products, but we needed consumable products for all, have-to-buy products, products that people were already buying and using and reordering the month prior before joining the opportunity. And here's number two. It had to be at a price point that people were used to paying, but it had to be a lot less than what they were paying. So you have to have consumables for all. Can't just be consumables. A vitamin's a consumable, right? An oil's consumable. But consumables for all are every type of product that someone would buy, use, and reorder, excluding paper goods and foods for their fridge, in their home. If you can find consumables for all, things that people have to buy and have to use and have to reorder, but point number two, have them priced at Walmart or below price point, make them more natural, make them more green, make them more organic, and then point number three, have the participation to partner up with the manufacturer to be commissionable at only about 5 or 6 items of the already buying habits that they've been buying already their whole life, and it just be a switching of stores concept, then you can keep everybody active. Again, consumables for all, priced below Walmart or below price point, more natural, more green, more organic, and then have the participation between the customer or the marketing executive and the company only be about 5 or 6 items a month that they would have to buy in order to be commissionable, where it's not having them spend any new money. It's just simply switching stores. Let the monthly qualification be about $50 to $60 a month and things that people are already buying, where seriously, it's a savings concept. They're not only switching stores, but they're actually saving money. If you can have a large amount of products that people can pick from, and it only takes a few products a month to stay qualified, and they're saving money, that's where you have a home run. I am the same jockey on a different horse. I went from 5,000 down to 56. Now I have 5,000 people ordering every single month. And they're not ordering because they're chasing a financial dream or the gain of financial independence. It makes sense for them to put their money in this store every single month. If you would like to find out the business model that I have chosen and hundreds and thousands of other industry leaders have chosen and have deemed to be the only business model that has over a 96% reorder rate, with customers reordering month in and month out for decades at a time, then what I would like you to do is to click the link below and schedule an appointment. I'd be thrilled to chat with you and share with you not only the largest direct sales company in the United States to date right now in U.S. sales volume, but also the fastest growing nationally and the fastest growing internationally. We're growing like a startup startup company, but we're not a startup company. We've been in business for decades and we're growing like a weed. It's very simple. Create mandatory products that people have to buy. Don't ask people to switch their buying habits. Have it be better in quality. Have it be less than where people would normally shop for those products. Have it be less in price. And then have the partnership between the person, the customer, the marketing executive, and the manufacturer directly be just a few items a month that they normally would be buying the prior month before joining the opportunity. If you have that, you can build a business to last a lifetime instead of a lunchtime. You might be doing a review right now on doTERRA because you're in doTERRA and you're trying to figure out maybe some of the problems, or maybe you're just looking at doTERRA because you're looking at getting involved with the business, or maybe you've been involved with it for a while and you came to this video. This video is not here to upset anybody if you're involved with that company. I am just absolutely passionate about finding a business model where the masses, the 80%ers, the 95%ers will stay active in for decades, not only on quality, but on price point. And when you've got that, you can build a business to last a lifetime. I'd love to schedule a time with you, spend some time with you, share with you the business model that I've chosen and thousands of other people. Click below to schedule an appointment. Again, this is Jason Fisher from timeandfreedom.com. Thanks for spending a moment with me.